Belize Watch. Knowledge of the past, impacting the present, building the future.
Jump and shout all over the nation. Breaking out with a new creation.
Cerro del Gallo Mayan site is located on the outskirts of Sarteneja village in the Corozal District. Proprietor Brawley Chuck is appealing for assistance to rehabilitate the site. We will have his story as well as a bit of the history of Sarteneja village with Jason Quintanilla and Vilda Tamay. First, we hear from our partners, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Shell Belize Limited, and DeBarry.
In Orange Walk East, we are serious about serving our people. In Santa Marta, we have renovated and upgraded the community park, handed over equipment to maintain the park and cemetery, provided lights to the football field, support sports in the village, conducted maintenance of the water system, and carried out a continuous upgrading of the village roads. Honorable Kevin Bernard and the PUP committed to the people of Orange Walk East, delivering on Plan Belize.
Shell V-Power with 3 times more cleaning and friction reducing molecules. Go well, go Shell.
We are DeBarry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. DeBarry. Get more? Fieles.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
Well, Paul, you have brought me to Cerro del Gallo, Sitio Arqueológico Maya, Mayan archaeological site here in Sarteneja. Yes, that's where we are at. We are in Sarteneja, and we are at a Mayan archaeological site. And I suspect we'll see lots of things and learn a lot of things today that we did not know. But Paul, I said where we are at, but you tell me how we got here and who we have with us.
Chief, it was a short ride from the area of Sarteneja village coming to this location, but we were very honored to have 2 prominent, well-known citizens of Sarteneja community to guide us to this location. And of course we have there, I'm pointing in his direction, Mr. Vildo Tamay. And I got to know him through the former executive director of Tide, Selah Mahone, who knew him. And since we got to know him, I got to know him several weeks ago. He has always expressed that willingness for you, Chief, and your Belize Watch crew to come to Sarteneja, and he would be able to assist in any way, and he has proven that. So I want to publicly say thanks to him. But we also have the presence of a young man here, Mr. Jason Quintanilla. And of course, we met the executive director of the Sarteneja Alliance for Conservation and Development, Mr. Joel Verde, who also recommended that we try to meet Jason, and thus that has happened. So, Bureau Chief, I will not say much because we'll hear about them and hear about what Sarteneja offers.
Okay. Well, Paul, looking forward to learn more about Sarteneja. Before we move off, though, I'd like to get to know Jason and Vildo a bit more. And should we start with the seniority? Jason, you don't mind, right? We'll talk to the senior guy first, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, you're Jason, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
we'll talk to the senior guy first. We'll talk to Vildo first, right? So, Vildo, let's get to know you before we embark on our little tour here of Cerro del Gallo.
Good afternoon. My name is Bildo Leovigildo Tamay, and I am resident from here, Sarteneja. And I just want to talk a little bit about this history, about Sarteneja history, and the history start right here. What that where we are now is like Maya ruins over there, and the Aztecas and people from the Mayas start here, and then people travel to Mexico to different to come here, and this is a road, the first road in the village, the farmer roads, and this is how the story start today. And we maybe look about few people at the village, like a boat builder, the clinic, the airstrip, and the school, the high school, and maybe the bakeries we have, tortilla factory, and different places that we could maybe we can try to reach there.
To reach. Okay, but getting you're telling me that this is where it all started, and that's important. Right? That this archaeological site, which is referred to as Cerro del Gallo, is where things started, and you are an integral part of this village. What do you do, Mr. Tamaya, at this point in time?
I am doing fisherman, but a few years ago, and about 1 year and 7 months, I stopped because I have a heart problem. But now I'm a villager that circulate and used to work with my family at my home, and we got one small kitchen that for sell food to go and things and that, and a small shop. But right now, I just try to improve our resources to make this village. Some people get job in different way, like make the other alternatives through SSCD, through different sites like this place here. And apologize because I'm one introduced before I got the permit to this man. This Mr. Chu give me the permit to come here, and I hope he's reaching soon here, and he when maybe talk a little bit about this story. Yes, yes, the history, correct.
Well, Vildo, you are telling me that this road is a road that leads to
All the farmers
all the farmers.
start to begin in the farms, and usually the people from here, usually all of them the farmers before this convert in a fisherman village.
Okay. But let's go back to where this archaeological site. So the first settlers in this area, as we know it, were the Mayans. Right?
Yes, it's the Maya, the Aztecas.
The Mayan and the Aztecs. I mean, they're two different, but both of them were.
Yes, 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 yes.
Mayans and the Aztecs in
Yes.
this area.
Yeah.
Okay. So, what do you know about the flourishing of the Mayan culture here?
Well, I know I got so much knowledge about the Mayas, but from my dad and mom and my grandpa, they then teach me that they come after many problems that you have the war in Mexico and so, then travel to this place.
That's a modern the generation that is here today, right?
Yes.
But the 2,000 years ago, it was the old Mayans.
The old Mayas.
Yeah.
I talk about the 80s to up.
Okay.
When I born 70, I'm from 72, and when I young, I used to use this road and come to clean the farmers, do a job for many people who got the farmers here.
That's how you started working, cleaning farms.
Yes.
And Jason, you were born in Sarteneja, I take it. Right?
Yes, sir. I'm Jason. I'm a primary school teacher in Hattieville.
Oh, you teach in Hattieville?
Yes, sir.
So that means you're just home for the weekend then?
I asked permission for today.
Oh, good. It's good to have you here with us, Jason.
Yes, sir. So I'm a resident. I'm also a resident of Sarteneja, and I'm a person who has a passion with local history.
Okay.
And specifically when it comes to the Maya civilization.
So the two of you, you are the historian.
I believe so.
Okay. Well, let's get to learn a bit about the Mayan history here in Sarteneja.
Yes, sir. Okay, so Sarteneja was believed to be a very active post-classical seaport, even though it was important in its post-classic period. Sardinia actually came into existence in the early pre-classic. So these are the beginning of the Maya, the the glory in the class of the classic, and they became important in the post-classic. So in the very beginning, this place was once a very active seaport. Many people use this area for like a resting point. They came to refill their water containers with fresh drinking water from the numerous wells, and so it became like an oasis for this region for the people traveling between Ambergiski and Corozal. And because of its location, this place was very important to the northeastern region of Belize, northeastern part of the country, along with Shipston, which was about few kilometers south of Sarteneja as well. And this is not the only Mayan settlement that we have here. We have several, we call it satellite communities around Sarteneja.
Okay.
So if you go closer to the lagoon, you're going to find other Mayan settlements like Cenote on the other road. And they have Bandera, Aragon, and Cave as well.
Well, you know, I'm engaging you one time that maybe one day we can come and trace all these places that you're telling me about, so we can look at them and learn from them. They're accessible, right?
Well, I venture myself to find each and every one of them, and I map them up, and I took pictures of them too, because I'm very passionate when it comes to the Maya.
Wow. Yeah, interesting. Now, the Mayan, tell me how the Mayan civilization flourished, and walk me through it, how it flourished in this area at the time, and what would be a normal day look like, and that sort of thing, since you're so passionate about it.
Okay, so it was believed that ancient Sarteneja was a little bit bigger than the present day town and sustained a larger population.
Oh, yeah?
Yes, it was. If you notice, we're 0.7 kilometers away from the sea, and the ancient seaport was actually all this area that we are here, that we are at this moment, and the community itself.
Okay.
So it was a very large area, and these people, they were mainly, well, we cannot say mainly because we live next to the sea. They were agricultural people, and also they used to fish the bay, and they were well known for being producers of salt, marine products, and agricultural goods, and also like marine shells and those ornaments and things like that.
And those fetch a good price, right? In those days, right?
Yes, I believe so. And so Sarteneja, these people used to live in almost every part in this community. They had their Mayan. Today we could find their Mayan platforms all over the place, and their life was simple and primitive, just like the other Mayan communities out there. But what was special about this one was that they served the people that were traveling between. It was like a major resting point, as I said before. And these people just were like, in other words, if we could modernize the word, we could say like a hotel for those people traveling.
Okay.
Yes.
So it's like a port of refuge or port of rest
Yes.
for moving on from one point in major city to another.
Yes.
So this would be like your stop in between to relax and refuel and rest.
And many historians call it the oasis, the oasis of northeastern Belize,
Okay.
because they used to come and refill their water containers and stock on provisions.
I mean, the same Mayans are the ones that built that canal that separates Ambergrisky from the rest of Mexico, right? They would be the same. This would be the same connection, basically, that we would have here in Sarteneja.
And it is believed that Sarteneja, ancient Sarteneja, was part of ancient Chactamal region.
Yes.
So they were connected, and even Cerros and the other Mayan settlements around here.
Yeah. So the Mayans flourished in this entire region that we are at. But what led to their decline, as far as you know?
Well, nobody is sure of their decline, but many people assume it's because of drought, how you call it, warfare, or maybe because the trade shifted to other regions, and that is what people assume was the main decline of this place.
No, if the Mayans flourished here, and the settlers here are not necessarily of today, are not necessarily descendants of those Mayans who actually lived here, how did the settlers arrive here, this modern wave of settlers? I strongly suspect it's Guerra de Castas, but you're the historian.
Okay, you will be surprised with this part. Well, ancient Sardinia was abandoned for about 900 to 1,000 years.
That's right.
And after the abandonment, there was a person that arrived to these shores.
Who is that?
And many people don't know this part of the story, but
Okay,
it is
tell
right there. So this person was describing very tall, dark complexion, and probably was a maroon,
Okay.
a person who escaped, African person who escaped from Belize and found refuge here. So this person lived in this area, and he claimed this land for him. And the early settlers describe him as being very territorial and kind of aggressive.
About what year would have been?
In the late 1700s to the beginning of the 1800s.
Okay.
So that is when this person found this place. He found out that the area was rich in resources, and there were several hundreds of ancient wells in the region, so it was easy for survival.
Water.
So this person had many confrontations with the new settlers. As we all know, in 1847, many people from Mexico began coming across the border.
Running away from that war, the caste war.
The caste war. So many people began coming to this area, and they found out that this area was actually just like their homeland. They had the ancient civilization, the remains of the ancient civilization, and the many wells that were here. So they found out that this area was actually suitable for them. But there was a problem. Can you guess?
The guy problem was this gentleman, right?
Yes, and this gentleman.
What was his name again?
Some people, not describe him, but some people used to call him Tatin.
Tatin. Okay, so Tatin did not want anybody coming and invading, basically, or taking over his property. Does that mean he claimed the whole area that is now known as Sarteneja?
Yes, sir. So when these people began coming, the Mayas and Mestizos from Mexico, they went to him and they discussed and so, but there was no positive outcome, and there were many confrontations after that, like physical fight and all of that.
Yeah.
So to make the story shorter, this person was killed in one of those confrontations. That is the sad part of the story.
Okay, but where did Taten live exactly in Sarteneja? What part of today's Sarteneja would be where Taten actually lived?
Okay, so if you were around out there in the community, you will have seen a monument. We call it the George Price Monument. His house used to be in that same area by Fernando's guest house, that little area. That was where he lived. His long bones were found right in the water when the other settlers came to settle here.
Yeah.
So when the settlers came and they began inviting other people that were also running from the war to come and settle with them. And they found out again, the place was rediscovered again. They found out that the area was once a Mayan place with hundreds of wells, and that was perfect for them. They never had to work that hard to find water, and the water was was drinkable. So these people, by the way, one of the first families to settle in what is now Sarteneja was believed to be the Aragon family, and later they were joined by the Cruz, the Verdes, and then the Cancinos, and so on. So they settled here, and they lived a very primitive life, just like Mexico. They had their boat building tradition. They brought it from Tulum. Personally, my family came from Tulum, so they brought their boat building expertise from there, and they continued their lead tradition, but not in a massive scale, but just for them. So they lived here, and they farmed the area, and they fished the bay for survival. until this drastic change that happened in 1955.
What was that?
As In 1955, the entire country of northern Belize was affected by this major hurricane.
Oh, Hurricane Janet.
I was about to ask you the name of the
Yes,
hurricane.
I know the hurricane. I was 5 years old when that hit. Hurricane Janet.
Okay,
The
well,
entire Corozal District was affected. Northern Belize was affected by Hurricane Janet.
yeah. So these people, the villagers, they found refuge in the Catholic school. Today is our community center. But Hurricane Janet came, as we all know, as a Category 5 hurricane.
Yes.
And the southernmost part of its eye passed directly over Sarteneja,
Wow.
leaving the entire community submerged in 8 to 10 feet of water.
Yes.
So everything was submerged. The bay took over everything,
Mm-hmm.
and the destruction on the following day was massive. Everything was on the ground, and practically nothing was left standing with the exception of the school building. Even the church that was in front of the building was demolished to the ground, and people were right in that building during the hurricane. Unfortunately, one person died in that building in the Catholic church, but the rest managed to go to the school that was right in front of them.
The loss of life was minimal.
Two persons actually died,
Okay.
and both of them were babies.
Yeah.
One was that one from the Aragon family, and the other one was from my grandmother, who dropped in the water due to the high rising water. But during the hurricane, many people had to stand on benches in the church. Others had to swim because some of them there were not enough furniture, because they used it to secure the windows and all of that. So the
But
ladies,
the casualty could have been much worse with a Category 5, you know?
it was.
It could have been.
Yeah, that's true. But everybody were safe right in that building, even though they had to swim for about 3 hours, according to the people.
Swimming inside the building.
Yes, they had to swim in the building, and because the water was rising so quickly, they had to put their kids on the attic.
Wow.
So, because of the weight, the building's attic it began to fall apart, and that was very
It's been dramatic, you know?
yes, and horrifying for the people in there. And just remember, it was in darkness. Everything was dark, so they had to swim in that place. On the following day, they found out their community that was on the ground. Nothing was left standing, and these people had to rebuild this community again. But before that, they found out that their water sources were contaminated. So they had to, some of them, according to people, they had to boil water. My grandmother personally had to boil seawater to cook her plantains and mash it up for the following day. So other people had to do the same thing. And because the hurricane destroyed everything and killed all the farm animals, they had to make a big dinner on the following day. That is the nice part of it too. So everybody got to eat in this pork or this animal and so on.
Let's eat it before it spoil, huh?
Mhm.
that was the feeling.
Yes. So they had to cook everything, and then after that, the hurricane, not the hurricane, sorry, but the government of
Yeah,
Belize.
there was a rebuilding process.
Yes, he sent some help to the community, and approximately 70 stone wall houses were built.
Yes, I see some of the remnants of those houses around when I pass through.
To some people, it might look like something nice, but to me personally, when I see those buildings, it's a loss that I feel. Why? Because all those buildings the stones of those buildings were used from the many Mayan temples that were in the community.
Serious?
So all those buildings have history on them.
So at that time, in 1955, there was no appreciation for the historical aspects, in our country. It was just, okay, it's convenient to get stones from here, so let's just get it.
Yes, and according
Same
to
thing happened in Altunha, and same thing in San Antonio. I think in San Antonio, they were blowing up one of the temples and that sort of thing. But anyway, let's go ahead with your story.
well,
In those days,
I was talking to the owner of Mr. Chuk here, and he told me that his father the community got together and they requested, not requested, but they asked other people to donate stones because they came from, some of the stones came from this building itself as well.
The
That we,
building that we are
yes,
going to see in a few.
yes, and that's why you're going to notice that the slabs or the steps are missing, some of them, because people just took it and from all over the place, all around this area, they took it to the community and from the community as well, and they built their homes, their stone wall houses. So after that, after the rebuilding of the community continued to live a very primitive life despite having those nice homes. And then something very important happened after Hurricane Janet. The people of Belize noticed that there was a dominant species that was roaming the waters of Belize, and it became like a pest. Some people describe it as a pest. It was actually the lobster, and
Okay.
and luckily somebody from Belize found out that they could actually export this to United States, and a market was created right there.
Yeah.
And because of that, many people from Sarteneja, they already had boats. The only thing they had to do was just go fish them and take it to the cooperative and make easy money right so.
Yeah.
So that was when the community shifted from farming to fishing. They began fishing the bay because we used to have lobsters too,
Yeah.
but now we don't have a lot. And they even went to the reefs and atolls, and because of that, the demand of the boat building increased. So many people began building more boats to supply the demand. And since then, the community has been growing and becoming. By the way, Sarteneja is, as we all know, is the most largest fishing community in the country of Belize, providing the most lobster and conch export. So since everything started after Hurricane Janet.
Now, talking about the lobster and conch, you had a cooperative here at one time. Is that cooperative still operational?
No, sir. Well, my job here is to investigate every single thing that we have in our community. And I took my time and I researched on this cooperative. When I was born, this cooperative wasn't in existence. But I found out that the place didn't had at the very beginning, this cooperative didn't had enough ice. Well, they never had no electricity, so they had to bring the ice from Orange Walk, from not bus or truck or something, from Orange Walk to Corozal, and then ship it to Sarteneja, chunks of ice.
Okay.
And that's how Sarteneja cooperative began. And then they installed the generator, and then that's when they began producing their own electricity. And the cooperative didn't work out simply because we are a little bit far from the port and also a little bit far from the reef, and lastly because of mismanagement.
Okay.
The people were not qualified to handle and organize what call it, a company like that.
Yeah.
They were not qualified for that.
So the cooperative went defunct. I have a lot of fishermen from this area that fish out of Belize City. Their boats, you can see them right by the swing bridge. You know, and most of those boats, I think, majority of them are from this area, from Sarteneja or from Shunush or one of the villages in the area.
Yes. Oh, and I forgot one of the most important
Tell me
things.
what, please. I'm happy you remember. Tell me.
It just came to my mind.
Uh-huh.
The way the word Sarteneja, how did it came to be named Sarteneja?
Yeah.
Many people, well, as you know, Sarteneja was rich in resources, water resource.
Yeah.
And the ancient people used this place to refill their water and so on. So this was a place for people to come and refill their containers. So this tradition or this event continued for centuries and hundreds of years. People coming to these shores to refill and so on. Well, when this was firstly inhabited, the native Maya of Belize still came to this area to refill their fresh drinking water, and they met the new refugees or settlers. And one of the words, the phrases that they used was Sarteneja, which translates to give me water or dame agua in Spanish.
Sarteneja.
Sarteneja. Many books have different words, but those are not correct. I don't know how they got those translations, but I took my time to research, and we found out that it's actually give me water. Give me water, Sarteneja. And people began using the word to refer to their own community, Sarteneja, and eventually the word Sarteneja was contorted to the Spanish language Sarteneja, and that's how the word was born.
And it's a strategically located village because it's just almost on the most northeastern tip of our country, straddles the Corozal Bay, directly opposite of to Chatamal. You know, I think you will go straight almost in a line from Sarteneja. You end up in Chatamal, right? How wide is that bay between Sarteneja and Chatamal?
I did research about it long time, but I don't remember the distance. But I know people used to go to Chetomale very often in the past. In fact, one I call it Chetomal, they had their first British building, and that building came from Sarteneja. It was transported, the building, the wooden building, was actually transported from here to Chetomal, and that was the first colonial building in Chetomal.
It came from out of Sarteneja to Chatamal, which I didn't know. You know.
Yes, I found out that a few years ago too.
Okay. That building would be where in center of Chatamal, right? Yeah.
Still existing according to you.
Yeah, I think it's still there. I'm picturing it in my mind. I hope I got the correct building.
Yes, sir.
When we come back, we continue our walk around Cerro del Gallo Mayan site. Owner Braulio Chuck shares the challenges he has faced in trying to get the site recognized. We will be back after we hear from our partners, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Shell Belize Limited, and DeBarry.
In Orange Walk East, we are serious about serving our people. In Santa Marta, we have renovated and upgraded the community park, handed over equipment to maintain the park and cemetery, provided lights to the football field, support sports in the village, conducted maintenance of the water system, and carried out a continuous upgrading of the village roads. Honorable Kevin Bernard and the PUP committed to the people of Orange Walk East, delivering on Plan Belize.
Shell V Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction reducing molecules. Go well, go Shell.
We are DeBarry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. DeBarry. Get more? Be less.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You that you and me that me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
So, we are at Cerro del Gallo, which means the hill, Rooster's Hill. Why, did I ask you why Cerro del Gallo?
I spoke to the owner, and then he told me it's because they found a rooster there. There was a rooster that was always would go to these hills and will sing every morning and so on. That's why they began calling it El Cerro del Gallo, and then just translated to the Maya language.
Okay, and the Maya language is Puk Tung Tiel, right? Did I pronounce it correctly, or better you do the pronunciation?
That's correct. Puk Tung Tuel.
Puk Tung Tiel, right? Maya archaeological site property of Angel Braulio Chuk, and let's thank Mr. Chuk for allowing us to record our show here. Let us publicly thank him so much for allowing us to be on his property.
Yes, sir.
And you know, we have to thank him too for opening up the property for folks to get to learn and appreciate the rich culture that exists here in this part of our country.
And he always keep it clean for the people to come and observe it. Many people don't know about this place. And it's a nice place to explore.
And so you would call this the foundation of today's village of Sarteneja, almost the early beginnings of Sarteneja, the very early beginnings of Sarteneja.
The roots, the main,
Today's Sarteneja.
the roots.
The roots. All right. Well, let's go and know the roots. Can we go take a little walk and you can you know it by heart. I can say. Let me compliment you and commend you for the expert way in which you shared your knowledge. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And I look forward to doing more shows with you too. We are entering the Cerro del Gallo Maya site, the center of it, right? But is there an estimation as to how many people may have lived around this area?
We could calculate it like approximately like 8,000 to a sizable trading town.
So in all honesty, that sounds like it's almost the size of today's Sarteneja or maybe even bigger.
A little bit bigger.
Right? So you had more Mayans living here than you have living today in Sarteneja. I'm always mystified by how the civilization just declined. What's your theory on that?
Maybe I will say because of drought.
You said drought earlier, yeah, but wouldn't there have been things like disease maybe brought on by what?
After looking around, I believe maybe it could be overpopulation too. Because the communities, the Mayan settlements around this area are very like it's like practical a major city if you spot them one by one.
Okay. We have made ourselves over to the main plaza of this ancient Mayan city.
Yes, sir. A town, or perhaps a town.
Yeah, town. Okay.
So this one back here is the main temple. Presently, it's 26 feet tall, but it was believed to be higher than this.
Higher than that, yeah.
Because of the rain, erosion, because of the people removing the slabs, the height decreased. People, well, old people or elders usually they told us that back in the days they were able to see this bay from here all the way from the top. They were able to see the bay, but because of the trees now and because of the height, it's not it's impossible today now.
So this would be the main plaza of the town, basically.
Yes, this was when this is where the main activity or the epicenter of this entire coastal town, ancient town.
And what would be in these buildings that would be around it? Because it's completely surrounded by buildings. It's not like it's completely enclosed.
The elite family probably lived around this area, and the main ceremonial part.
That side,
yes, right? It happened in that main building.
And the elite would have been here, and then who would have been on this side over here?
The families of the elite.
Families of the elite.
And the rulers.
Okay. And how many acres does this cover?
This is only a fraction, because this ancient town covers all the entrance of the community, the entire community itself.
Entire community itself?
The entire community itself too, because they can find many wells out there, so people used to live there too. Okay. But this was the center of it.
Well, Mayan sites have suffered from not only removal of stones and what have you, but from looting as well.
This one in particular, on the other side, it has a part of it is destroyed because some people decided to excavate it on their own. They thought they were archaeologists, so they ran and they did it on their own. The owner told me that he was sharing some stories with me, and he told me that up there they found a room under the pyramid.
Under the pyramid, there's a room?
Well, there was a room.
There was
a room, and the room was covered with gold or something, because it was shining. So some people came, they decided to uncover it, and I believe an accident happened, and the entire thing collapsed. And the person who was in there is believed to be still in there, the body. I don't know. I'm not quite sure.
Buenas tardes, ¿cómo está? Ajá. Sí. Ah, no sabía que estaba en la casa. Pues mucho gusto en conocerlo, and maybe we could do introductions here. Mucho gusto en conocerlo. Usted es el dueño, you're the owner here, right?
Ajá, y soy en Braulio Chuk.
This is Mr. Braulio Chuk, and he owns this place, right?
Ya, ajá.
Mr. Braulio, I want to thank you so much for having us here on your property, right? And for allowing us to use this show as an educational tool for ourselves and for our fellow Belizeans, right? Yeah. Now, what can you tell me about Mr. Braulio Chuk? Who is Mr. Can I get to know you? Who is Mr. Braulio Chuk?
Así, solo en castellano puedo
Usted quiere
hablar.
que le hable en castellano. Quiero, quiero
castellano.
conocer su persona. ¿Quién es usted?
Ajá.
¿Cómo llegó aquí? ¿Qué es lo que hace aquí? ¿Qué es lo que tiene que entendido? ¿Qué es lo que tiene pensado hacer con las propiedades?
Bueno, pues yo tengo una idea que, porque este nunca se ha vendido.
Nunca se vendió. ¿Ha
No.
estado tu familia todo este tiempo?
Ajá, mi
So
familia.
this has been in your family all the time,
Ya,
right?
sí.
And it has never been sold to anyone else. So it has been, he's inherited this from his family. ¿Y su familia cómo llegó? Cuéntame toda la
Ajá,
historia.
entonces la historia es, entonces mi papá lo tenía, esta propiedad lo tenía mi papá, entonces mi papá.
His father owned the property.
Ajá, entonces él no le importaba de eso, él no sabía si eran ruinas.
He did not know these were Mayan, ancient Mayan temples.
Ajá, y no tenía interés y así lo tenía abandonado.
And he had no interest in it, so he had it abandoned.
Cuando él murió, entonces yo lo empecé a limpiar.
When he died, I started cleaning it.
Entonces vi de que está bonito.
And I said, this is beautiful.
Ajá, y ahora yo pensé, digo, con el tiempo,
And I said, okay, with time,
ajá, va a estar bueno para Sarteneja, para
it will be good for Sarteneja.
porque tenga un pedazo de, digo, una ¿cómo decir? Una evidencia donde los mayas vivieron.
Because now I have on my land a piece of evidence where the Mayans lived.
Entonces entonces yo me puse a cuidarlo porque si no ya lo habían rompido la gente.
I started taking care of it because if I did not take care of it, people would have already broken it up, which I think is what our good friend was telling us a while ago, that people are already invading the temple over there. So now you take care of it, right?
Ajá, ahora yo lo estoy cuidando y lo vengo todos los días a verlo, a cuidarlo.
come
Yo lo voy limpiando y todo porque,
I come every day to clean it and to take care of
ajá,
it.
porque digo, esto va con el tiempo va a quedar bueno, se van a interesar por este
Because
terreno.
I thought that this is very important for the country, and over time it will be good for all of us.
Ajá, porque no está lejos de la aldea, está cerca.
It's not far from the village, it's close.
Entonces, mi idea mío, digo, pues, nunca tengo en mi mente vender lo que
My idea is never to sell this property.
siempre que esté para la gente. Que
Let
venga.
it be for the people, who the people are free to come and see it.
Sí, y entonces yo tengo una experiencia que me pasó aquí.
I have an experience that happened to me here.
Ajá, entonces esa experiencia en un mal aire.
A bad air
Ajá, vino y
came to
fui
me.
a cortar el bambú.
I had gone to cut bamboo,
Ajá, y cuando se me apareció, entonces es un maya, dice que es una persona.
and when I looked at it, it was a person, a Mayan person.
Ajá, entonces me dice, yo te vine a buscar.
And it said, I came to see you.
Ajá, levántate que estaba trincando la jimba.
It said, rise up because I was locking the bamboo. I was tying up the bamboo.
Ajá, y entonces me controló mi mente y
It controlled my mind. That spirit controlled my mind.
y lo empecé a seguir y él me empezó a contar.
And I followed it.
Él me dijo que es el dueño, el dueño de este terreno.
And that spirit told me that it was the owner of this land.
Y me empezó a contar varias cosas.
He started telling me several
Me
things.
paseó todo aquí y
He
después.
walked me around the whole area.
Ajá, y veo donde me está llevando, un camino limpio está el
And I
camino.
see where he's taking me, and it's a very clear and clean road.
Ajá, se me olvidó mi familia, se me olvidó
I forgot about my family. I
ajá, de lo que vine a hacer.
I forgot about everything that I came to do.
Entonces era las 10 de la mañana
It was 10 o'clock in the morning,
y en mi mente perdido,
and in my lost mind,
ajá, me parece que media hora yo conversé con
it seemed that just half hour I spoke to him.
esa mal aire. Entonces cuando
It was bad air.
me acordé de mi familia
Then I remember my family.
y le digo, ¿sabe qué? Dame un permiso que yo me voy a despedir de mi familia.
And I told the mal aire,
Ajá,
which would
mal
be
aire,
mal aire would be like bad air.
Ajá, bad
Give me leave so that I can go back to my family.
Ajá, entonces él dio vuelta, que él iba adelante, yo voy atrás.
He turned around because he was leading and I was following.
Y él me dijo, está bien,
And
anda a
he told me-
despedirte, lleva tu jimba, te he olvidado de mi jimba, se llévalo.
He
Y
said, leave, you can leave, go
yo voy a
turn around,
regresar a
carry a
buscarte.
bamboo, I'll come back and look for you.
Ajá, entonces cuando yo lo vi, se empezó a desaparecer.
Then I saw him started to disappear.
Ajá, entonces mi mente volvió a
And then
quedar bueno.
my mind came back.
Ya eran las 6 de la tarde.
And it was already 6 o'clock in the
Ya
evening.
era tarde y solo
It
media
was
hora
6
nomás.
o'clock, and he thought it was just a half hour. ¿Cuánto tiempo duró?
Eran las 10 de la mañana.
From 10 o'clock to 6 o'clock, and it
6
felt like
o'clock,
half an hour to you.
Ajá, y mi mente solo era media hora. Media hora que yo
Half
conversé
an hour in
con
his
él.
mind, and it was from 10 o'clock in the morning to 6 o'clock in the evening.
Entonces llegué a las 7 de la noche en mi casa, me
Got
andaban
home at 7
buscando.
o'clock, and everybody was looking for him.
Entonces cuando yo venía en el monte ya no me dejaban solo, venía mi familia, venían conmigo,
When
pero
I was
cuando,
coming in the bush, my family after that would never leave me alone. They would
Pero-
do it with me.
cuando pasó un mes así ya,
About a
me-
month
que-
after,
ya me dejaron solo.
they left me alone
Y
one
ahí en
day.
ese lado estaba chapeando ahí.
I was shopping right over there, in that area,
Ajá,
right
ahí
over there.
en esa hora cuando se me apareció otra vuelta.
And it came to me again.
Pero ese día iba a venir mi hijo a ayudarme a chapear.
But that day, my son was to come and help me chopping.
Ajá, y cuando él me dice, pues ahora nadie te va, ya cumplí, ya fuiste a ver a tu familia, ahora te voy a llevar, me dice.
He said, this thing told him, nobody is coming to help you. You have already done what you're supposed to do, and now I'm going to take you away.
Dice, ahora levántate, vámonos.
Come up and get up and let's go.
Dice, mira, no está lejos el monte, que está cerca. me
Look, he
dice.
said, the bush is not far, it's very close.
Y yo me levanté,
And I got up.
cuando me levanté,
When I got up,
vi de que se empezó a
it
desaparecer.
started to disappear.
Ay, cuando yo me volvió mi mente otra
And when I
vuelta,
came back to my mind,
veo a mi hijo parado cerca.
I saw my son standing next to me.
Y mi hijo me dice, ¿con quién está hablando?
And
¿Qué
my
le
son
está
said,
pasando?"
who are you talking to?
Ajá, él no vio nada,
He did not see anything.
él no lo vio, solo yo.
I'm the only one that saw what I was talking to.
Entonces yo pensé, ahora pienso que
I know I
ese
think,
mal aire cuando hay dos personas no parece.
and I think that when there are two people together, that mal aire does not appear at all.
Ajá, y de eso pues yo traía un perrito, tengo un perro que venía
I have a
conmigo.
little dog that was along with me.
Y ese mismo día que vino mi hijo, el perro se fue, el acádico se fue.
And that same day, the dog left.
Ajá, y cuando yo llegué a mi casa, pregunté del perro, me dice no ha llegado.
When I asked about the dog, they told me the dog had
Y
not
vine
arrived.
otra vuelta
And
y,
I came back,
y no busqué el perro, nunca lo busqué.
and I have never found the dog since.
De ese día ya no lo vi de más, ya tiene
Yeah,
ahorita
I've never seen it.
5 años.
5 years ago, and I've never seen the dog
Ajá,
again.
ya no lo vi de más, ni el mal aire ha visto
And
nada.
I've not seen the mal aire ever again, the bad air again.
Porque yo solito vengo aquí, ahora ya eso no se me
I come
aparece.
alone now, and it doesn't appear to me anymore.
Esa es la experiencia que tengo aquí en este
And
terreno.
that's an experience that I have here on this land. And es por eso que este terreno es tan importante para usted, ¿verdad?
Ajá, sí, me encanta el puesto aquí, yo vengo a pasar el
I
día.
love being here, and this is very important to him, and he come and spend his time with him.
Ajá, y cuando estoy enfermo, aquí vengo también y
When I'm
sano
ill,
rápido. Que,
I
ajá.
come here and I'm quickly cured when I come here, whenever I'm ill, right? Pero usted vive en el pueblo.
Ajá, yo vivo en el
He
pueblo.
lives in the village,
Ajá.
not necessarily on this land.
Ajá, entonces ese tiene una historia también, este cerro, este
That
grande.
hill is saying has a history. the hill
Ajá,
is
y
saying
por eso
that.
le puse el nombre que tengo puesto ese letrero.
And I've given it the name that I
Poptum
have
Til.
there. Poptum
Tel. ajá,
Tel. ¿Qué
ajá.
quiere decir Poptum Tel?
En maya, eres en maya, pero en castellano es Cerro del Gallo.
It's a Mayan word, and that's what the Poptum Tel, who is the Cerro del Gallo,
Del Gallo, ajá.
the Rooster's Hill,
Ajá.
came into being. So that's how the name originated from this
Ajá,
temple here.
ajá,
From
from
this
that
temple here.
temple, yeah.
And so Cerro del Gallo.
Del Gallo, Cerro
Oh.
del Gallo.
Pero ¿por qué Cerro del Gallo?
Ajá, porque entonces ahí, cuando yo tenía 5 años,
When I was
6 años,
5 years old,
ajá, a mediodía, todos los días a mediodía canta el gallo, cantaba un gallo ahí.
every midday a rooster would crow from that hill.
Ajá, entonces toda la gente cuando pasaban ahí,
And whenever I was-
oían el gallo que cantaba.
and everyone who passed would hear the rooster crowing.
Entonces cuando yo vine a limpiar aquí que murió mi papá,
When I came to clean here, my father died.
ajá, 2 veces lo oí nomás.
And I've only heard the rooster 2 times, right? Dos veces oí el
Ajá,
gallo.
2 veces
Only.
más que
He
hace
only heard the
ahora
rooster 2
poco.
times more.
Ajá, de ella no lo oigo
And
más.
then he has never heard the rooster
Sí.
since.
Ujú, entonces por eso yo le puse el nombre
So he has named it
a Cerro del Gallo.
the Rooster's Hill,
Y él, ajá,
all right? And that's the reason for it.
sí.
Now hay un templo abajo, ¿verdad?
Sí, es un templo
Me
este. Sí.
estaba contando en Jason de una historia que pasó, que había gente que venía a buscar lo que no debían de andar buscando aquí.
Estaban rompiendo el...
They were tearing the temple, right?
Ajá, en ese lado hay un hueco. Ajá. Entonces,
There's a hole.
cuando yo vine porque yo pescaba, cuando yo vine de pescar, vi del
I
hoyo.
was fishing, and when I came back from fishing, I saw the hole.
Pero ellos lo empezaron a romper así de arriba,
But they
empezaron a ir.
started breaking in from the top.
Sí, cuando yo le quité una piedra, veo que hay una cueva, hay un cuarto, bonito el
And when
cuarto.
I moved the stone, I saw there was a beautiful room.
Era bonito allí. Entonces,
Very beautiful.
ajá, entonces mi día mío, digo, yo voy a entrar
I was afraid, but I said, let me go in.
ajá, con una soga, voy a trincar el
So I
tronco de
went
un
in
palo,
with a
me voy a
rope,
arriba.
rode
Porque
myself
solo
by a rope.
es un hoyo que se ve así.
It's a hole.
Ajá,
a hole,
fui a buscar un flash, un
and he looked for a
foco.
flashlight.
Ajá, y
or
alumbré
matches.
ahí. Está bonito,
And
pues
even he shone it, he said it's so beautiful.
tiene como 7 pies y
About
medio de alto.
7.5 feet tall.
Está bonito.
And
Entonces,
very beautiful.
dice mi esposa, no entres, me dice, porque
My wife told me not to go in
se puede derrumbar. Dice.
because it can fall in and can cave in and hurt you.
Yo me fui, pero mi idea mío, digo, hay algo ahí, porque está bonito. Digo,
I
hay
went
algo
and I
ahí.
said, in my mind, there is something there, because it's so beautiful.
Y me fui a mi casa y los dejé ahí.
I
Me
went
decían,
to
no
my
vayas al
home.
monte, no vayas. Eran
And
como,
I left it there, and
era
my
como
wife
la-
said, don't go to the bush.
como las 9 de la mañana.
Uh-huh.
Ahora yo quiero venir porque yo ya
I
vi
know I
ese
want to
hoyo.
come because I already seen the hole.
Cuando se descuidó, yo me escapé y me vine.
So when my wife was not noticing, I got away and I came.
Y cuando yo vine, ya había pasado como 1 hora y media.
I came an hour and a half
Y ya
later.
se ve derrumbado.
It has already caved in.
Ajá, se fue para abajo.
So
se
if you were
derrumbó.
there, si usted hubiera estado ahí, se hubiera
Ahí me
derrumbado
iba ahí,
sobre usted.
ajá, ahí me iba ahí. Ahora unos
If he was
amigos,
there, it would have caved in on top of him.
ajá, ahí me iba a enterrar ahí abajo.
He would have been buried there if he had followed what he wanted and not what his wife wanted.
Ajá, entonces a mí me contaron dos amigos
Two friends told me
ajá, que si yo no sé que ahí se enterró 2
that
personas.
2 people buried there.
Ajá, son ellos que estaban
Well,
rompiendo el
caved
cerro, ajá, ellos lo estaban rompiendo.
They were the ones that were tearing
Ajá, y
down
se
the hill.
metieron, cuando se metieron,
And they went in.
se
And
derrumbó y ahí quedaron, ahí
and
están ahí
it
adentro.
collapsed, the entire room collapsed,
Ajá,
and they're buried in there.
Ahí se quedaron ahí.
Con todo el oro,
Ajá, con todo.
with all the gold. Right?
Quedó aplastado, ahí se quedó, ahí que se enterraron ahí.
Pero se pudo asegurar que era oro, que lo que había ahí, o otro
No
metal.
sé qué es, porque
We are
no,
not sure if it was gold. It just looked gold, right?
sí, porque
No parecía oro.
debe haber algo ahí, porque estaba bonito ese cuarto.
Ajá.
Sí. Porque ese nadie lo ha tocado, no lo han explorado
Nobody
todavía.
has explored that since, right? Desde entonces nadie ha explorado eso.
Ajá, nadie todavía. Sí. Bueno, y por eso yo lo cuido porque no lo sigan rompiendo, porque si
I
no...
take care of it so that they don't tear it anymore, so they don't break it up anymore.
Ajá, esa es toda la experiencia que tuve aquí.
So that's some of most of the experiences that I've had here, right? ¿Y qué ve usted para el futuro, para ese terreno? What do you see in the
Yo
future?
quisiera como, pues que hubiera alguien que lo para restaurarlo, para...
I'd like somebody to take the time and come and explore it and really to restore it to its glory,
Ajá,
former
para
glory.
que quede bonito, porque iba a quedar bonito él, sí.
Ajá.
Sí, porque hay 3 pozos aquí.
There are 3 wells here,
Ajá, 3 pozos de los mayas, sí.
so maybe it's a challenge, es un reto al Departamento de Arqueología que venga a explorarlo
Ajá,
y a
explorarlo.
restaurarlo, ¿verdad?
Sí,
So he would like to see it being explored properly, mapped out, and restored, right? ¿Y usted
Sí.
permitiría eso?
sí, porque para que quede más bonito, para que la gente pueda venir
He
a
wants it
verlo.
to stay and to be developed properly so that people can come and see it and enjoy it and learn from it,
Sí,
right?
sí,
Y aprender de ello.
así que, porque este no está registrado todavía.
So this is not registered yet.
No, no lo tienen puesto en la mapa del gobierno
This
todavía.
is not yet on the map of archaeological sites. So we're at a site that is not on the map of archaeological sites.
No está
So
en la
and here's the owner saying, hey, I want this to be a part of the map of archaeological sites in the country of Belize. So we might be making a bit of history and a good connection here, that we are saying, we are here and we are seeing it, and we think it should be on the map because of the importance that it plays in the history of this beautiful village of Sarteneja. Yeah, he needs all the support he can get. He needs all the support he can get to keep it pristine and clean, you know, because all this is a labor of love that he is doing, right? He is doing this from the heart, right? You're doing this but you want it to be shared with the nation of Belize. That's what you want. Que usted quiere que toda la nación beliceña sea parte de lo que usted, de lo que
Sí,
usted tiene.
de este cerros que hay, estas ruinas, para que así cualquiera que venga de afuera va a saber que en Sarteneja aquí habitaron los mayas, aquí están.
So anyone who comes to Sarteneja will know that the Mayans once were in this area, and this was an important area to them. So the call, and I guess I'll just re-echo what he is saying, is that to those concerned, is that, hey, I'm willing to give this as a patrimony to Belize, for use of Belize and Belizeans. Así que cualquiera podrá venir sin problema a explorar el área y aprender de ello.
Y va a estar bueno, sí.
¿Y su familia qué dice de esto?
También ellos se me apoyan, mis hijos, tengo mis hijos nomás.
Children support him and his family supports him in
ellos me
this
ayudan
quest.
a limpiarlo y todo.
And the family helps to clean it up and so, but they need to do more.
Sí. Y solo lo podemos mantener como está, nada más.
This is all they can do, how it is in its present state. And so this is all privately done by the family, right?
Sí.
Not any outside help or anything like that.
Sí, porque estas cosas que necesitan finanzas bastante.
It needs a lot of finances and so to get it in
para dejarlo más bonito.
Y Jason me estaba explicando la importancia de este área, que aquí era un lugar de descanso entre lo que es la laguna y el mar, ¿verdad? Pues transitaban los antiguos mayas.
La laguna está aquí y el mar está allá
enfrente. The lagoon is that side and the sea is this side. And so this was a very important resting point, a point that people would come and rest. So it's strategically located.
We wrap up our tour of Cerro del Gallo Mayan site when we come back. We take a break to hear from our partners, Honorable Kevin Bernard, Shell Belize Limited, and the Barry.
In Orange Walk East, we are serious about serving our people. In Santa Marta, we have renovated and upgraded the community park, handed over equipment to maintain the park and cemetery, provided lights to the football field, support sports in the village, conducted maintenance of the water system, and carried out a continuous upgrading of the village roads. Honorable Kevin Bernard and the PUP committed to the people of Orange Walk East, delivering on Plan Belize.
Shell V-Power, with 3 times more cleaning and friction-reducing molecules. Go well! Go Shell!
We are the Barry, offering you great products, good service, and of course, the lowest prices in the entire country. Visit us in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio Cayo, Orange Rock, and now in San Pedro, La Isla Bonita. The Barry. Get more? Be less.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from. You da you and me da me. But guess what? All are we the one. See what I mean?
Mr. Ángel Braulio Chuk, ¿hay alguna otra cosa que usted me quiere decir, que quería compartir conmigo, alguna parte de su vida, tal vez como creció en Sarteneja, una cosita que usted tal vez quisiera compartir conmigo antes de despedirnos?
Pues yo cuando yo tenía 5 años veníamos aquí esa piedra grande que está enfrente.
When I was 5 years old, that big stone that you sat on in front, yo me senté en esa piedra. I sat on that stone.
Ahí,
So that's the stone. ¿Qué pasó con esa piedra?
ahí habían unos santos.
There were some saints, figures of saints
Le
on
tenían
it.
hecho su casita y todo. Y cuando,
The houses made for the saints, or house of saints.
y cuando los milperos bajaban para irse a su casa, ahí paraban a descansar y oraban enfrente
It was
del
like a
santo.
shrine, you know, replicas of saints and a shrine, and the people would pass and they would stop and pray to these saints.
Entonces, cuando ya tenía como 30 años,
And when I was about 30 years old,
entonces cuando un día yo vine en el monte, ya no estaban,
one day I
se lo
came
llevaron.
through the bush and it was no longer there.
No sé quién lo llevó, pero,
I don't know who took it away.
pero
but
de Sarteneja es que se lo
it's up
llevaron.
there. But somebody,
Pero eran antiguos sus santos.
they were very, very antique. Yeah.
Los santos eran. La gente le llevaba sus vestiditos. Y
People would take their little
lavaba y se
clothes
los ponían.
and wash it and would dress the saints in the clothes that they would bring. Right?
Ahí lo tenían asentado ahí.
Sentado. ¿Algún mensaje que quiere dejar para todos nosotros? Don Braulio?
Como que...
Un saludo, un mensaje, saludo a su familia.
Pues le doy gracias también a ustedes, su grupo de ustedes, que vinieron a visitar aquí. Yo creo que es primera vez que vienen, ¿verdad?
Sí,
A
primera vez.
visitar.
Para mí, primerita vez.
Primera vez, y a mí me da, como decir, un placer que vinieron a ver. Que no van a venir, mi amigo me dice, van a venir.
Sí, claro.
Pero yo estoy allá atrás esperando y veo que no vienen. Digo, tal vez ya no van a venir.
He was waiting for us. He thought we would not been here, but I think there was some miscommunication that he was at the back waiting for us and we were at the front. So you have just burnt here, Don Braulio, and you just cleared this area here. All right. Yeah, you can see clearly the area from up here.
Ahora ve cómo se ve ahí, bonito.
And it's a beautiful area. This might have been a ball court or something in the middle there. I'm not too sure. Right? But it's something that
Se
we
va a
should
quedar
do.
bonito cuando llueva, se va a ir la ceniza, se va a ir
So whenever it rains, the ashes will disappear because you burnt this out yourself, right? You did this yourself just to clear it out.
para que siembre mis siembritos aquí.
So he's going to plant his little plants here. Notice you have a lot of, tiene muchas flores ahí a la entrada, ¿no?
Me gustan las flores.
He loves flowers, so that we saw all those flowers when we were coming in.
Todo ahí tengo sembrado a verlo ahí adelante. Como
He's planted a lot of flowers in the area, right? I was walking and looking at them on the ground, you know.
Y todo ahí le tengo puesto, todas estas líneas. No fueron así, ¿verdad?
Sí.
Oreando, fueron. Todo ahí tiene flores.
Todas las flores que tiene. We saw the flowers that you have there.
Están bonitas.
Very beautiful.
Yo los sembré, los fui regando las semillas.
Yeah. And there are trees coming out of those temples over there too.
Además, hay otros más, hay dos más así.
And there are two more to the back.
Voy a limpiar así para que queden. Quiero hacer un solo en block, un solo en.
You want to make a
Un solo block.
a whole block, yeah.
Con todo eso. Porque está cerquitas, están cerca.
They're all close to each other. So it's a major ceremonial area more than likely. There's a hole there. So
Entonces, ¿qué usted piensa ahí que es en medio? ¿Una plaza o era
¿a dónde?
en medio?
En medio me parece que es una plaza. Creo que
Era
la
plaza.
teoría que tenemos es que vivían los sacerdotes en un lado, los aristócratas, y era una plaza mayor. Esa es la teoría mía.
Porque está grande, porque está grande.
Está grande, sí.
Sí, yo creo que era de ceremonias donde se reunían como juntas que hacían.
Puede ser porque los ricos ahí, los meros, era como, digamos, las casas de parlamento o donde vivía la aristocracia.
El mero en los jefes ahí.
Los meros jefes, sí.
Así me parece. Y entonces se reunían ahí porque está grande el puesto.
Ahí en medio parece un ball court. No estoy seguro. Pero sería bueno que un experto viniera
Sí, que viniera y lo
a
vea.
analizar todo esto. It's good to get an expert to analyze all of this. I'm all excited about this, really, as you can tell. You know, being here.
Sí, man, tú que vamos porque Sarteneja tenga su puesto de turista también de los mayas.
Yeah, so
Sí,
Sarteneja has its own tourism spot where the Mayans are concerned. And there's a hole, I guess somebody was digging down there, or...
No,
that's at the root of a tree.
Oh,
Okay, that's on the roots of a tree. Because huge trees are growing on top of these mounds.
cayó en el
Mire,
huracán.
al caer aquel va a dejar un hueco también.
Ajá, ese por eso lo corté. Ese que corté ahí también estaba moviéndole.
Ajá.
Se lo voy a mostrar. Todavía ahí estaba moviendo.
Ajá.
Y si viene viento recio, deja feo el
Yeah.
cerro.
The trees were already moving when I started clearing around them, and so if there was a strong breeze, it would have created more problems if I hadn't cut them down. I'm happy for the store, because as you were telling me that there's a well down there and there's also an altar where sacrifices were made. Me está contando que hay un pozo abajo y hay un altar donde se hacían los sacrificios.
Ajá, ahí está una piedrota ahí, una mesota, donde hacían el sacrificio.
That's where the sacrifices were made on this big stone.
Y lo botaban en ese pozo.
And they would throw it in that well that is there next to it.
Y cuando mi papá lo limpió para que use el agua para regar.
When my father cleaned it so that they could use the water to wet the plants,
ahí estaban los huesos, puro
the
hueso.
bones. There, he found just human remains, bones.
Ajá, y por eso lo tengo dejado ahí. Está
So that's
bajito
why
el
I
agua,
left it there.
como así nomás al
How
agua.
it is, the water is very shallow, but I left it how it is because of what we found in there.
Ajá, ahí vienen los animales a beber agua.
So the animals will come out and drink water there. And so de aquí se ve bien bonito todo.
Ajá, ese de aquí, ese me gusta trepabelo.
When you come up here, you can see the entire plaza. Look at that big temple over there that you're pointing right now on. And then there, and then on this side would be the Gallo, the rooster temple. On this side here, this one would be the Cerro del Gallo, this is the taller one on this side. Yeah, this is a beautiful spot. Lo felicito por este lugar, está muy bonito.
Todavía está limpio, lo veo.
And it's very clean. That I notice you keep it very clean. Y las flores que están ahí son los que ha sembrado usted, ¿verdad?
Sí, todo es.
All those flowers we see down there, the little flowers that he has planted out of a labor of love.
Sí, porque me gustan las flores así.
Because I love the flowers here, and so I plant them, right? That's the types I love. A lot. Let's go to the well. He's asking us if we want to go to the well. Well, we got to go down slow because we are a little height up, so we have to go down slow, Chris. Good exercise, Chris. Climbing up there, right? Okay, so let's walk. You're taking me by yard for esta parte, ¿no? Taking me this side.
It don't matter what part of the jewel they come from.
Flowers que ha sembrado aquí. I've planted all these little flowers here. Yeah, and now we're heading to the well, ¿no?
Ajá, en el well, vamos a ir a verlo.
Vamos a ver el pozo. Okay. Este camino usted lo mantiene limpio también. So you do all the maintenance on Braulio
Yeah,
on your own. That's your own effort, right?
Ajá.
But what do you do mostly for a living? ¿Qué hace usted para como su medio de vivir?
En siembros, en plantas,
He's an agriculture.
ócoro, calabaza, plátano.
Okra, planting, calabash. He plants all these things, right?
Guineo,
Bananas
camote. Ese que está en medio de la
And-
plaza es puro camote.
and
Ajá, aquí está el pozo.
what do you call it? Sweet potato. ¿Cómo bajamos? This is the well that you were talking about, right? So we go down here? Okay. And there's water in the well. Como 4 pies de agua, ¿no?
Ajá, ese tiene como la hoja cae adentro.
The leaves that fall in the...
Ajá, pero tiene 10 pies de hondo.
Oh, it's 10 feet deep. But it's full of leaves that fall off the trees. So if I jump in here now or drop in here, I'll go 10 feet.
Ajá.
Voy a caer 10 pies para abajo. But it's a lot of mud. Y los huesos que me contó los
De ahí
humanos,
salieron, ahí
the
salieron.
human remains were found in here, the old human remains of people who maybe sacrificed and placed the remains. Where's the altar?
Ajá, esa es la piedrota, la jima lo tapó.
Okay, the
Y acá quita-
bamboo has the altar covered. So if you move those bamboo, the altar would be there.
Esa es la única piedrota grande, más grande que hay aquí.
That is the biggest stone in the area. So it is believed, or he believes, that the people were sacrificed on that stone, and the remains were placed in here.
Si iba a quitar la jimba, iba a quedar una mesa grande de
So
piedra.
if you move that bamboo, there'll be a flat stone, piece of stone, right?
Y queda bonito.
And it will be beautiful.
Sí, porque no estaba esa jimba ahí.
Because that bamboo was not always there.
Fue creciendo
It
ahí.
was starting to grow around it. Wow. Lot of history. Braulio Chuk, ha sido un placer, tremendo placer conocerlo. Para mí usted es un buen beliceño, porque quiere compartir lo que tiene con el resto de nosotros. I think it was I'm just saying that it's a pleasure to have met you, and that you're a good Belizean because you want to share your property with the rest of Belize. You want us to use and learn from what is here in this area, in Cerro del Gallo, right? Mayan site. So, thank you so much. Muchas gracias por tenernos aquí. ¿Y alguna palabra que me quiere decir antes de que nos vayamos?
Yo también les doy las gracias a ustedes que vinieron a ver estas ruinas, porque muchos saben que en Sarteneja, mismos los de Sarteneja no sabían.
No sabía, ¿no?
Ajá.
The people from Sarteneja did not know.
Ajá, y no lo sabían de mismo
That is it.
Sarteneja. Pues ahora vienen a verlo.
Now they come to see it.
Ahora ven que sí, es un buen puesto.
And
Que,
they see there's a good spot.
ajá, y lo que me dicen a mí que no está lejos.
And they tell me it's not far.
Caminando pueden
And
venir.
they can walk towards it
bicicleta.
and visit and come on bicycles.
Ajá, y ven que está bonito. Cualquiera que viene me dice que está bonito.
And everyone that comes says it's a nice place.
Les digo, un día tal vez el gobierno lo va a restaurar y lo va a dejar más bonito.
I say one day the government will put it, restore it, and it will look much better.
Y esa es mi ilusión mío antes
And
que
that's my
muera,
dream.
porque
Before I die, I want to see that happen.
sí, que se vuelva una realidad.
I want my dream to become a reality, that the government, and I'm repeating what he's saying, that the government would take it over and restore it.
Sí, eso es lo que yo más deseo. Sí. Porque si solo está aquí y no está
This is
funcionando.
my biggest wish, because I don't want to just stay here and not work.
Sí, pero una vez que ya haya ambiente y todo, hasta bastante gente de afuera va a venir a verlo.
Once it's restored properly, then a lot of people from outside will come to learn about it and to know it.
Entonces ese es el nombre que yo les tengo puesto,
I have the name,
Cerro del Gallo.
Cerro del Gallo, the Rooster's Hill.
Ajá, ese es el
Uh-huh.
nombre de,
That's
que le da ese templo, ese es el templo.
because of the temple there, right? Okay.
Pues así les doy las gracias, porque veo que ya se está interesando un poco la gente de venir a verlo.
But I'm thankful that people are getting more and more interested in coming to see it.
Ay, mi alegría mío es que un día lo vea más diferente.
And my happiness will be to see it transformed.
Ajá, ya lo tengo limpio, ahora
Have it clean.
solo falta que pongan más, pues como el gobierno lo puede hacer.
And there's just I just need that push to make it look in a pristine way.
Es todo.
Thank you. That's all he's saying, right? Don Braulio,
Gracias.
muchas gracias por su amabilidad, por platicar con nosotros, y espero que lo que haya dicho caiga sobre tierra fértil, o sobre oídos fértiles. I'm hoping that what you say will be sown on fertile ground, and that you'll get the assistance that you need, and that one day we will see this as a major tourism attraction here in Sarteneja, porque los turistas van a venir cuando
Sí,
se dan cuenta de esto.
Sí, van a venir bastante, sí. Y esa iba a ser mi alegría mío, que vea que bastante gente vengan a visitarlos aquí.
Belizeans and visitors alike,
visitores.
beliceños y visitantes, ¿no?
Visitantes.
Ajá.
Sí, porque ahí estoy sacando más, ¿lo veo?
And you are cleaning, and he's cleaning more.
Me salió 4 ruinitas más, 4 ruinas más allá.
There are 4 more temples to the back, he's saying,
Sí.
right? And y todo eso es su propiedad, ¿no?
Sí,
¿Qué
todo
extensión tiene la propiedad? What's the extension?
12
of the property?
acres y medio.
12 and a half acres.
Ajá, acres.
12 and a half acres. And you have 4 more temples, 4
Ajá,
templos
ahí,
más.
allá,
So, lot of work needs to be done here. And so let's hope we can get it done for the benefit of the village and the people. Right. This has been a very enlightening visit to Rooster Hill, Cerro del Gallo, right? I learned so much just now, And I would wish that Mr. Brawley would get the assistance that he needs to develop this. What touches my heart, really, is the fact that here Mr. Brawley has this property in his family for over 200 years, right? So there's no dispute that he owns this property, right? You know, this very important archaeological city is right on his property. He has developed it so far on his own, right? He has it open to the people of Sarteneja and indeed to the people of Belize that they can come and experience what the grandeur of the Mayan culture. He also is willing and is asking for the assistance from the government of Belize or whichever archaeologist or so. He's asking for assistance in further developing and documenting what is here, this great Mayan city, right? Am I right in that, gentlemen? We all agree that that is what we gathered from Don Braulio. Don Braulio says, quiere esa ayuda, que le ayuden a desarrollar este lugar. See, all right? So I want to thank you guys so much. Let me ask Paul if there's anything he wants to say. You know, Paul, no sé, conoce usted al Capitán Paul Mahon, ¿verdad? Okay, Paul.
Chief, I just wanted to echo heartfelt gratitude. Meeting Mr. Vildo Tamai was very great. Equally, meeting Mr. Jason Quintanilla. With short notice, he came out and they were sharing their knowledge of the area. And most of all, to come across Mr. Brawler Chuk, the owner of this property, Chief. A touching experience. Those who are viewing and listening, don't move. Just stay put and watch this program because you will be equally touched.
Thank you so much, Paul Mahon. And Mr. Vildo, gracias por hacer la conexión aquí. Gracias, hermano. Muchas gracias. Man with the connection, ¿no?
Gracias a ustedes la información o el medio de comunicación o informar a nuestros pues en nuestras comunidades y en nuestro país entero de norte a sur y realmente nosotros estamos para servirle. Tal vez tenemos nuevas generaciones como Mr. Gerson que pueden traer alternativas para otro recurso de trabajo para que la pesca se mantenga más o menos sostenible y los futuros hijos de los hijos tengan otra forma de vida que no sea tanto el mar. Yes. Y el saludo para mí es a todos los que vean este programa y los pescadores y las familias de pescadores que queremos tal vez ver otra forma de desarrollo en nuestra comunidad porque tenemos un buen lugar que tiene una buena playa y necesita desarrollarse y eso nos toca a todos nosotros que hagamos un poquito de nuestra parte.
Right?
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Y un saludo.
Gracias por tenerme.
Ok, gracias, Mr. René Nueva.
Don Jason, the history you gave me was very enlightening. I want to thank you so much for that history. I want to thank you for taking time off, for being with us. And let me ask you if there's anything you'd like to say since as we are signing off.
I just want to thank you all for coming here and allowing us to share our stories and history. And I'm more than pleased to share those things. And you can also, if you happen to be here in Sarteneja and you need some help in getting to know the place, you could contact me through my messenger, Jason Quintanilla, or our community page, Sarteneja #1. I'm willing to help you all.
Well, Jason, thank you so much, my brother, for doing this. I'm looking forward, Jason, to us doing more shows because I know there are many other things here in Sarteneja that I would like to learn about. There's a recovery after Hurricane Janet that we spoke about. There are the wells scattered throughout the community. There's the old church where so many people survived and that sort of thing. So there's a lot of history here in Sarteneja that we want to look at in future shows. So thank you so much for agreeing to be a part of our journey as we explore and get to know more about our beautiful country. Belize, the most beautiful country in the world. But Don Braulio, tenemos que nuevamente agradecer a Don Braulio por su amabilidad de tenernos aquí con usted.
Yo
We want to
también,
thank you so much, Don Braulio.
ajá, yo también le doy las gracias por dejar su tiempo de venir y ver el lugar como está, porque yo quisiera que vaya más, cada tiempo que se desarrolle, que dé un lindo lugar para,
Yes, he's
para,
thanking us and he says he wants to see the place develop. He's saying it again, he's saying it several times now.
para la comunidad y para
For the
también
community
para otros de otros lugares.
and for people from other areas, from other parts of the world to get to know
Yo,
what we
yo
are
sé
about.
con la ayuda de ustedes
I know with your help,
vamos a salir con lo que queremos.
we will get what we need and what we want. Don Braulio, muchas gracias. Es usted muy amable, right? Y veo que es un trabajo de amor lo que está haciendo usted aquí y en realidad lo felicito y de todo corazón deseo que sus sueños se conviertan en realidad, Don Braulio, y tan pronto como sea posible que se conviertan sus sueños en realidad, right? I'm hoping your goals and aspirations become reality very, very, very soon. Muchas gracias, Don Braulio.
Gracias.
Okay? Gracias por tenerme aquí con usted.
Gracias por visitarnos
Muy
también.
amable de su parte,
Bueno,
right?
gracias.
So we have witnessed another labor of love, right? And we keep on saying that love is a choice that we all make. We can choose to do different things, but the most important thing in life is to choose to love. And because Don Braulio and all of us choose to love this beautiful jewel we call Belize, we say Belize and beyond. Thanks for choosing love. Belize Watch. Knowledge of the past, impacting the present, building the future.
Celebration time. It don't matter what part of the jewel you come from. You that you and me that